Welcome to Mission to Inspire with Sha Agivadi, where inspiration, purpose, and abundance come alive. Together, we'll empower lasting change, helping you step boldly into your greatest potential. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mission to Inspire. I'm joined today by a very wonderful and special guest. His name is Nathan Walters. Hi, Nathan. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wonderful.
Good. Great.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. This is a wonderful treat for me.
Oh, are you ready to unlock a life of abundance, wealth, and purpose? I'm Shola Agivadi, your money, abundance, and prosperity coach, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Faith Hub, where faith meets prosperity. Inside this app, Faith Hub, you get to access my exclusive coaching, powerful money affirmations, and life-changing resources to help you attract financial success and walk boldly in abundance. Dive into my books, live sessions, and daily affirmations designed to transform your mindset and align you with divine wealth. Join me today on Faith Here and start speaking prosperity into your life. Download the app, Faith Here app, now and step into your season of massive abundance. I shall see you on Faith Here app. Join me there and see you soon. Thank you so much. So, Nathan is actually the president of Mission Discovery. That's an organization with over 30 years of experience leading life-changing mission trips worldwide. So under his leadership, Mission Discovery connects churches, schools, volunteers with impactful opportunities to serve through humanitarian aid, medical care, and building projects. I'll leave it at that. And this is an opportunity for you to introduce yourself properly so that we can.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. My name's Nathan, as you said. And yeah, I've been working at Mission Discovery ever since 2009 was when I went on my first mission trip with them. I knew on that mission trip that I was called to do it. I knew I was supposed to do it. And so they had been around since 1991. So I think I was like, what was that, 7 years old when Mission Discovery was started. So anyway, I went on my first trip in 2009 to Mexico, and then loved it. Finally got hired in 2014. So I've been working here full time for 10 years, and in that time, some transition has happened, and somehow I weaseled my way into the president chair. So still wonder, I was hired on April Fool's Day in 2014. So I always wonder, is this really happening, or is this just a big joke? I don't know. I don't know. I feel very blessed to be where I am, and fully underqualified. Thank goodness Jesus can make up those differences for us. But yeah, anyway, that's how I am where I am, and how I'm sitting here today with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a great opportunity.
It's a bit, yeah, it's a big opportunity. There's a trust me, the guys who started this organization had some pretty big feet. I got big shoes to fill, as they say. So, yeah, a lot. I feel the weight sometimes, and other times it just feels like a complete joy. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. For you to get yourself where you want to be, doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. The guy who hired me was the president, was the guy that started Mission Discovery. He hired me in 2014, and he asked me at the interview table, and I don't remember this. I think he's telling the truth. He said, he asked me, "What is future Nathan doing?" And he says that I told him, "I'm sitting in your seat," and I said, "What in the world was I thinking?" If I said that, what was I thinking? And then here I am, 10 years later. So I don't know.
Well, you said it.
I guess.
The
I
angel
guess I
said amen
did.
to it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been very bold of you to say that, though,
I
even though you
think I
can't
must have
remember.
just been, yeah, I must have been kidding. I had to be kidding for
Mhm,
sure. But yeah,
mhm.
it's something else when you look back and say, okay, well, if I said that, that's pretty interesting because here I am.
Oh, we thank God for that. We thank God for that. So you've
Yeah.
seen lives transformed both on the mission
Hmm.
field and among the volunteers. Can you share a specific story that deeply moved you?
Yes. Yeah, lives transformed on the mission field and in our volunteers, really everyone involved. So, for those who don't know what a mission trip is, I'll start there. A mission trip is basically a 7 to 10 day experience. A short-term mission trip, anyway, is a 7 to 10 day experience
Mhm.
uh, somewhere else, somewhere outside of your home. And hopefully it's well organized and you get a lot of time to serve others in some way, and through that service, something inside of you is revealed. I always say, we have groups that arrive on Sunday and they leave the next Saturday. So they've got about 6 or 7 days there to serve others. And we've got devotionals and we've got, different programming that we do throughout the week. I always tell them the person who came on Sunday, we're praying, is not the person who leaves on Saturday. Because we really believe that what we do transforms lives, not just for those that we're serving. Say we're building a house in Mexico and Guatemala or somewhere like that. Not just in doing that. Those people are of course going to be impacted by our presence there. Um, However, we're also impacted by their presence in our lives. I told you I went on my first trip with Mission Discovery to Tecate, Mexico,
Mm.
and that week, I was actually a hired gun. I was leading worship for the groups that were there serving. So I was kind of on staff with Mission Discovery, even not even knowing who they were. They needed me to lead them in some worship and songs and things like that at the end of the day, which is one of the things that we do every day on a mission trip: is come together and worship and hear the word. So, but that week, I remember this team was there building 8 homes in one week. And it was all youth, all people in junior and senior high school. And I was just amazed by that. And so during that week, I looked around and I was just really seeing the connection that these people were having, not only with hammering nails and deciding, but with the people there, with the children there. They were playing with kids and talking with adults and inviting the kids and adults to come work on the homes with them. And it was kind of like this giant communal, thing happening that was just really intense for me. And so I looked at what was happening and I noticed that we weren't just there building homes, we were there building relationships. And people were really seeing with their own eyes these homes being built and Christ through our actions. And so the idea that we were going to build homes was one thing, but the idea that we were going to build relationships was completely different, completely separate. I had not thought of that piece of it, and that's what impacted me the most was that all these relationships were happening in the midst of this one week, the things that wouldn't happen normally. So, my life personally was impacted by that trip, and I came
Wow.
back not the same person. And like I said, I knew I was called to do this and be there, and I didn't know that I was going to be waiting 5 years to get hired, but I did, and it's been totally worth it.
Wow.
Um, so so it happens every trip. I talk about building homes, but we also, work at, you know, uh, shelters for people without homes. We work with food pantries. We build wheelchair ramps. I mean, the tasks are endless that we do. But there's always a relational element that points back to Jesus, and that's what transforms lives right there. So.
Right. Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting. So this mission trip that people go on for a
Mhm.
week or so, how do they get on this mission trip if they want to?
Yeah, it's different for everybody. You know, our strength at Mission Discovery is forming long-term relationships with ministry partners that are
Mhm.
doing work. So we always say, if we're invited somewhere, say the School for the Deaf in Jamaica that we work with, they invite us to come work with them. We've been working with them now for 25 plus years,
Right.
bringing teams for that long.
Hmm.
And so it's a relationship that we built with them over time. And so for
Hmm.
churches or youth groups or whoever,
Hmm.
they might have an issue coming up with how to get involved or how to serve or how, because that's really our calling as Christians, is to serve others, one of them. And so um, yeah, so they won't know how to do the work or how to connect, transportation, food, light, all the things that you have to do when you go to these places. They
Yeah.
don't really have the connection. So,
Mm.
so a lot of times our strength is uh, doing all that back end work for youth leaders or for school leaders or for people that don't have time to do it themselves or know how or relationships to do it themselves. So a lot of times, if you want to go on a mission trip,
Yeah.
there's a group around you going. So if you want to go on a mission trip, you might go to a local church or something like that and say, hey, are you guys doing anything in the future, uh, globally or here, at home? Mission trips
Mhm.
don't have to be, doing mission work doesn't have to be out abroad outside of the US. We
Yeah.
do a lot of trips inside the US, I know that you're in London, right?
Yes, I am
Yeah,
in the
so right in your backyard though, I mean there's going to be food pantries and other organizations that are
UK.
doing things that you can get involved in too. So I wouldn't necessarily focus on how can I go to this or that country to serve. You
Right.
can certainly look online and figure that out, or you
Mhm.
can go to your local church and say, "Hey, where are you going? Can I get involved?"
Mhm.
Um, but really, the first step, one of the things that we hope you do is just go out of your backyard and say, "Hey, who's doing work in my community, and how can I get involved in that work?" Um,
Mhm.
so, like I said, food pantries, sometimes thrift stores will be some sort of like helping those around you. So, yeah,
Mhm.
there's just all kinds of ways to do that.
Right. Right. Thank you so, so much for that. What inspired you to lead Mission Discovery, though?
What inspired me to lead Mission Discovery?
Yeah. 10 years down the line.
What inspired me to lead Mission Discovery? Um, Gosh, I don't know that anyone's ever asked me that question. That's a good question. Um, you know, there's a calling, and
Right.
I believe that for a lot of people,
Mm.
there's a calling on our lives. There's
Yeah.
something that drives us and something that inspires us to wake up in the morning. And for me, that was mission discovery. That was the idea that I could wake up in the morning and make a difference in people's
Mhm.
lives by going to work. And that's something that I didn't grow up with. We
Yeah.
went to work because that's what brought the paycheck home. That's how we put food on the table. And that's
Mhm.
for me to have a job that has meaning outside of providing for my family, which is what I also do with this
Yeah.
job. But giving me a purpose to say, hey, there are families that are going to be fed and housed. There are kids that are going to be educated. There are ministries that are going to be furthered because I went to work today.
Wow.
Um,
Mm.
was, like I said, something I didn't grow up with. That's completely outside of my box
Right.
and completely outside of anything that I could do on my own. And
Right.
so, yes, that's a calling. That's something that we step into.
Mm.
And I'm just fortunate enough to have seen God work in some crazy ways in my life and say,
Wow.
you know, this is, this is possible. You know,
Mm.
never thought this would be possible. So, yeah.
Wow. So it was a calling that you felt, that
Hmm.
you definitely knew was upon your life. Are you ready to unlock a life of abundance, wealth, and purpose? I'm Shola Agivadi, your money, abundance, and prosperity coach, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Faith Hub, where faith meets prosperity. Inside this app, Faith app, you get to access my exclusive coaching, powerful money affirmations, and life-changing resources to help you attract financial success and walk boldly in abundance. Dive into my books, live sessions, and daily affirmations designed to transform your mindset and align you with divine wealth. Join me today on Faith Here and start speaking prosperity into your life. Download the app, Faith Here app, now and step into your season of massive abundance. I shall see you on Faith Here app. Join me there and see you soon. You just have to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then once it got down to, me leading the organization as a whole, the previous president came to me and said, if you don't lead it, someone will be hired in to lead it, and they're going to know less than you, and
Mm.
they, and are you willing to work for someone that doesn't know what you know, and that doesn't have the resources that you have?
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I was like, well, um, it sounds like I'd be the best person for the job, and uh, I can't believe that. I
Yeah.
still have trouble believing that. I think
Mm.
a lot of people, maybe people are in the same position as me where they feel like, man, I don't know if I deserve to be in the seat that I'm in.
Mhm.
It's bigger than me. I don't feel adequate. I don't feel
Mm.
like I have what it takes to be in this seat. But every day I come and I sit in it, and we keep doing what we're doing stronger. So, yeah, keep sitting in the seat. That's what I'd say.
Keep
Yeah.
sitting
Keep
in the
keep going to
seat.
work. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. For many people, serving on mission trips feels out of reach. For
Mm.
example, what
Hmm.
advice would you give to someone
Mm.
considering their first mission trip but unsure
Mm.
where to start?
So I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and
Right.
and I lost my mother at a young age. My dad remarried, and I got a couple new sisters. So I had four sisters.
Mhm.
And so I'm very in touch with my heart. My sisters are all very in touch with their heart, so they taught me well. And so, but they, uh, we didn't have much. My dad had, we were a single income family. My dad had a lot of mouths to feed. We, just we didn't have much at all. So even when I was in high school, my dad said, I'd gone to my dad and I said, hey, I want to go to this college. And he said, if you're going to go to college, you're going to have to pay for it yourself. We can't afford to send you to college. We can't, that's way outside of our budget, and we just can't do that. And to me, growing up with I grew up with, saying, telling me to afford college on my own was basically saying, you're not going to college.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's, and so it's just the way that I grew up. We just did not have a lot. So thinking about traveling or going outside of the US or doing it was completely foreign to me. Completely. Like there was no deal in my life. There's no way you could have told me, "Hey, you're going to be traveling," or that you could even travel outside the US at all. So I remember sitting in a Sunday school class, and the Sunday school teacher said, "Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up?" And one of the guys said, "I want to be a missionary." And my thought was, why would anyone want to leave Richmond, Virginia? And and it just was so foreign to me. So you know, going on my first mission trip was something that completely caught me off guard. I did not see it coming. Um, as you know, or maybe you don't, people have to raise funds to do a mission trip. Mission trips are not like, g- you know, very inexpensive. I mean, it costs money to travel. It costs money to go and to pay for lodging and food that you're going to, and even like the
Mhm.
things that you're going to build. All of this costs money. And so one of the things that you do for a mission trip is you write letters and say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, and this is, and then another thing is sharing the vision, talking to people, doing different fundraisers and things. For mine, I was just fortunate in that there was a person in my life that was just like, "Hey, I want you to go and experience this," and they paid for it. Not everybody's going to have that experience. It might be
Mm,
difficult. So
mm.
it might seem unattainable, but
Yeah.
but if you're supposed to go on a mission trip, you're going to be there. That's the encouragement I would give is that, you know, um, there's no way that that I have the power to thwart God's plans for my life. I'm not that big. And so, if God wants to put me in Tecate, Mexico, or in Jamaica, or in Guatemala, He's going to put me there. And that's the faith that I have to have. So if I feel like I'm drawn to go somewhere,
Mm.
and the money seems outrageous,
Yeah.
or I don't have any connections on how to get there or whatever, you
No,
just start praying and you just start believing that it's going to happen,
it's gonna
and
happen.
uh, and then you start working towards it. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, if it feels unattainable, if it feels like I don't know where to start or how to begin, I would say look online. Of course, everything's online these days. Go to a local church, see what they're doing. If you have a specific area in mind,
Mhm.
look online. We have plenty of places on missiondiscovery.org that you can check out. But yeah, it's just stepping into it if you feel called to it. So
Right. Stepping into it if you feel called. And that's
yeah,
very, very important. You have to feel called, because sometimes it's a purpose. It's the essence of why we're living. Sometimes it's a calling, like you said. So yes, thank
absolutely.
you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do short-term mission trips create long-term impact? So not just for the communities that you serve, for example, but also for the volunteers.
Yeah. So the communities we serve, it's like I said, we've worked with some places for 20, almost 30 years now.
Yeah.
There's definitely a long-term relationship between mission discovery and the places that we go, the people that we see, the organizations that we serve.
Mm-hmm.
And so when a team comes in and serves with us, say they're from this church down the road or this other school or whatever, they call mission discovery. They say, "Hey, we want to go on this trip." We say, "Let's go." You
Mm-hmm.
know, we always tell the team that they're playing a part of a larger story. That
Yeah.
while what they see might be one home or two homes or a classroom that they built, over
Yeah.
time, there's a school there, And so that it plays a little piece of the puzzle that God's creating. We don't, one of the things that we always say, we don't bring Jesus to the places that we go. Jesus is already there. He's already working. We get a front row seat to what he's doing. And there's no better place to be. That's where that transformation comes in.
Mm.
For the volunteers that go on trips, long-term impact for them may mean that they get involved with local charities or other organizations. May mean that they start volunteering more at their
Yeah.
church. It
Mm.
may mean that they start giving more at their
Yeah.
church, being more generous with their time and their funds.
Mm-hmm.
This is all that transformation that happens. It's like, and once you go on a mission trip and that light comes on, you change. And so you start to begin to see that change over time in your personal life as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. For
Yeah, and I would also say too, we've got churches that go and long-term impact on a lot of these churches that go. Some churches come once, they have zero mission trip or missions programming at their church at all, missions ideology or theology or anything built into their church or their
yeah.
culture or their vision. When they go back, they report on what's happened, they tell the story, they build a program. And so I've talked to several churches that have surprised me because their they've got a giant missions budget and a giant missions, and it all started because they came on a mission discovery trip, you know.
Wow.
And it doesn't, yeah, so it's a long-term impact more than just on an individual or
Wow.
the people that we serve, but also can be a long-term impact on the churches or the groups that go with us as well. So,
Mm, mm,
yeah.
mm. Wow. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
As the president of the Mission
Mm.
Discovery, what do you emphasize as the future mission trips and humanitarian aid in a rapidly changing world?
Mhm. Yeah, ask that question one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Broke up a little bit. Sorry.
So, what do you emphasize as the future of mission trips and any humanitarian aid in this, changing world that we are?
Mm, hmm. It's it's always surprising.
Ah,
It's always surprising. One of the things that we ask for our volunteers to come with is to be flexible, to have a flexible attitude,
mm,
because we will go somewhere, and you
yeah.
might have an idea that you're going to be doing A or B,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow we end up on plan X, Y, or Z. It's things just happen, and there's always surprises. And so, if you don't come with a flexible attitude, with a heart that's just ready to serve no matter what, um, it would be a very hard week for you. Be very hard. So
Hmm.
that has also been true with us as a staff here at Mission Discovery.
Oh,
Um, you know, we are largely based on the idea that we get to hop on a plane or hop on a bus and go serve somewhere. So what happens when planes aren't flying and buses aren't going anywhere?
mm,
In 2020, we saw that.
yeah.
And so a giant change, we have our goal is to bring volunteers to serve. And
Mm,
because we feel like we're called to do that as Christians, because we feel like it's good for everybody that's involved,
mm,
because we feel like the idea of serving is escaping the world. It's like um, the idea of putting others before ourselves
right. Yeah.
is rapidly evaporating, you know?
So,
And so mission trips are a solution to that.
mm,
That, you get to go and you get to experience what it's like to absolutely put others before yourself.
so,
And so, when that changes, when we go from, taking, I can't remember how many we were going to take in 2020 down to like 200 people, before COVID happened, we took about 200 some people. And it was devastating for us because we saw our ministry partners need help. And it's like we weren't the only ones suffering. Jamaica, Guatemala, Mexico, South Africa, Ireland, everywhere was going through what we were going
go
through.
through. Yeah.
And we couldn't step in to do
Mm,
much because we couldn't, be there. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, so if you talk about the future of missions in a rapidly changing world,
Mm,
what I would say is, um, it's always surprising, and you just have to be flexible. You have to be willing to roll with it and look for God in all the small places,
mm,
um, because He is revealing Himself through all of these changes.
it is.
But
Yeah.
it is just so, it can be painful. It
Mm,
can be a painful thing when change is happening and it's not really welcome change or unwanted change, and and you have to be flexible anyway. So yeah, I don't know that that answers the question greatly, but You know, yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does. It does explain how you actually enveloped around that period.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot for a lot of people.
It was a
And I'm
very
sure you will
painful
still. Did
time.
you still continue with your mission at that time?
It was a very painful time. We had, like I said, we had 200 and some people serve before March,
Mm-hmm.
and so we actually had a couple teams serving when, I don't know what you say over there. Everybody over here says the world shut down. But uh, after that,
Mm,
we had a real moral debacle on our hands, right? Because sometimes the people that we go serve are the people that might be harmed the most if they were to catch COVID. So
mm,
we really had to say, we have to shut it down.
mm,
We did a couple more that year, or maybe just one more, but they were very like socially distanced, not one-on-one,
mm,
missions. They were cleaning up this or that yard or whatever, that kind of thing.
mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah.
Wow, wow.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for coming on our show today. Do you have any inspirational advice for people out there?
Yeah, keep going to work.
Keep
Goodness.
going to work,
Yeah, keep
okay?
going to work. Yeah, keep sitting in that chair. You never know where it's going to lead. I'm just reflective today because I'm just like in awe of what God has done in my life.
Mm,
And just this little kid from Richmond, Virginia, um, that gets to sit in a seat that was much bigger
mm,
than myself. And so I know that if he did that for me, he's going to do it for anyone, any
yeah.
one of his children. So,
Mm,
so I that's my encouragement is that, maybe you're going to work. I always say, somebody told me once that if you got a 60-40 split on work, you're good. If you're 60% happy with what you do and 40% unhappy with what you do, then
mhm,
that is a great balance for work. And so my prayers for those people who are, 40-60 or 30-70. They hate it most of the time and they love it
mhm,
some of the time.
mhm,
I say during COVID, I was a 80-20 some days and a 90-10 some other days. Like we just drug through it. I didn't love what we did most of the time because it was just computer stuff and we weren't able to see. And but we get through it and we go day to day
yeah.
and we make it through and somehow God does something amazing with our lives if we let him. So
Mm, mm,
so I would say that, and then also uh, just uh, just remember to be flexible, be open to what God has for you,
mm,
and yeah, just be encouraged. Serve one another, love one another.
mm.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Serve one another, love one another. Thank you so much for coming on our show today. For people that might want to connect with your ministry, with your organization, how can they connect? I mean, maybe for
Yeah.
donation or whatever it is, how can they connect?
It's very simple. Just missiondiscovery.org. Missiondiscovery.org. So, yeah.
Okay. All right then, great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on our
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for making time for me. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got a little bit of congestion and cough and cold going on. So
Right.
hopefully it sounds okay.
He does. He does sound okay. I couldn't tell the difference to be honest.
Oh, good. Good. Well, thank you. Have a great night. I hope you have some good plans and enjoy your time over there.
Yes, 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 yes. So it's I think bonfire night
Oh,
on Thursday, but people are already outside with their
really?
yeah.
Bonfire night. Is that
Mm.
a national thing? Everybody goes out and
Yeah,
builds
everybody
bonfire?
goes out, yes.
Goodness sakes, your fire brigade must be just so busy. Oh my gosh.
They will be busy. Yes, they will be.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow.
They
Well,
will be
that's
busy.
great.
Oh
Well,
my goodness. Thank you so much for coming on our show. And until next time.
yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Are you ready to unlock a life of abundance, wealth, and purpose? I'm Shola Agivadi, your money, abundance, and prosperity coach, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Faith Hub, where faith meets prosperity. Inside this app, Faith app, you get access my exclusive coaching, powerful money affirmations, and life-changing resources to help you attract financial success and walk boldly in abundance. Dive into my books, live sessions, and daily affirmations designed to transform your mindset and align you with divine wealth. Join me today on Faith Here and start speaking prosperity into your life. Download the app, Faith Here app, now and step into your season of massive abundance. I shall see you on Faith Here app. Join me there and see you soon.